because, you know, the other co-workers was there. But when I moved out there, that's when really my life of crime really started. I was 15 years old, and it started with stealing cars. It started with stealing cars, right? I'm trying to even remember the first damn car that got stolen. I think the first one, it wasn't even a car, it was a van. That was another thing. I always had gas on my chest, right? Like, I ain't even know how to drive. It's not funny, but I didn't really know how to drive. Like, I ain't become a good driver, honestly, until really, like, probably, like, 5 years ago. And I done had my license for a while. But I'm talking like a good driver where it's like, yeah, boy, you go on the highway, you can go over this bridge, like, yeah, I feel safe with you. You know what I mean? But I used to have, you know what I'm saying, I used to have gas on my chest, man. And the first joint we took, and it's how crazy, how stupid we was. They was vans that came from a daycare. Vans that came from a daycare. The joint's like a 16 passenger seat vans, man. Cause it was a dude who was around there that we knew, and he was like, yo, the daycare open. And it was at nighttime. And it was the weekend. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah. So we went up in there. This bad, we smoked weed. We was in there. We smoked some weed up in that joint in the daycare, right? But we was searching around the joint. They had NBA Jam in there. We sat down, played NBA Jam inside of the daycare. Then what they had in there, man? It's terrible, man. Goldfish, them little goldfish. Start smashing them goldfishes. The next thing you know, what dawned back on me, I was like, yo, they got vehicles here. If there's vehicles here, then they got to have keys somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So my mind, you know what I mean? My mind went from NBA Jam to the goldfish, then to the keys. Like, where's those keys, man? Sure enough, they had 3 vans. We was able to find all of the keys. You know what I'm saying? Keys wasn't even hard to find. I mean, and this broad daylight at this time, we found out about it at night. We went back the next day because it was the weekend, so the daycare don't function. That daycare didn't function on the weekend. So anyway, boom, get up in that van, man. All I was used to is like basically operating a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And you know how like a person can kind of like, they could drive a vehicle straight from here to here, and you might think they could drive. So I did a little demonstration like that. So I'm like, all right, I got this. You know what I mean? I got this, man. One day, I was up, years ago, man, I was up, I ain't even gonna tell you where I was at, man. I'm gonna just tell you I was over east, man. I went down a block, cars on this, it was only cars on this side. No, it was cars on both. It was cars on both. And we drive, as soon as I get on the block, my man like, yo, you're a little too close to the right. And I said, yo, I'm good, I got this. As soon as I say that shit, all you heard was cluck. And I hit somebody's window. And I went into panic mode, right? And the next thing you know, like cluck cluck. So I'm going down the block. So I sped up, right? I sped up. I ain't even really moved into the middle, you know what I'm saying? I sped up. Man, I'm speeding down this block, man. I probably hit like 12 or 15 vehicles that day. For real, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the bad luck I got with vehicles now, because, like, I go through some... Man, I've been through, like, 4 vehicles in 3 years. That shit has came back on me, bro. My vehicle right now, you look at that shit, man, I'm always rigging up something or been inconvenienced to work everything, so I'm getting my fair share back. So, you know what I mean? That's the only reason why I laugh, because, you know what I mean? God damn it, I can't, you know what I mean? My vehicle, something always wrong with my vehicle. Always, you know what I mean? But anyway, man, I hit a lot of people's vehicles. I'm talking about a lot. It's like went from like cluck, cluck, cluck. Then it's like I might have missed like 2 or 3 vehicles. Then it was like cluck, 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 cluck. You know what I mean? With that same van. And that van came from the county. So we all were in the city with it. Long story short, the the whole idea. Let me tell you something else about this van. It's other people we work with. Let me tell you how stupid we were. We driving that joint, so people that know us are starting to see us in the van. I'm 15 years old, so for one, you know I have no right driving it. And for two, you know I don't work with the daycare center. For three, you know they don't even operate on weekends, right? So, you know what I mean? Man, we took that joint on the back road one night. I'm going to tell you, another thing about me, man, I was very dangerous when I was younger, man. Very dangerous, man. We used to take the van on the back road. I mean, not we used to, like it was something we did on a consistent basis, because this was just a weekend shot, right? It just happened that weekend. And it's a bad ending to it, so you know what I mean, just keep listening, right? But going the back road, it ain't nothing but open road, man. You can just go straight. And so what we would do is, you know what I mean, all of us was speed demons, you know what I mean? So we just get in there, mash the pedal down, and let it go to its max, you know what I'm saying? And I think the max that was on that van went was like close to 110 miles an hour. So we actually had a damn. You know what I mean? We actually had that joint, and we would take it to its max. That night, we took it to its max, and we went up and down that. We went up and down that road. Like police don't come back there, anything. You know what I'm saying? Like we literally just kept going back and forth, up and down that road. Man, we probably did that for like maybe like an hour and a half. It was 3 of us taking turns or whatever. The next morning, we ride through there. I think I was coming through there with my father. It's like a Sunday morning. I know I wasn't in our van. I mean, I wasn't in the stolen van. Man, do you know I see all type of signs of deer crossing, like beware of deer and shit like that. And we driving so fast and not paying attention, like, what if I'd have hit a deer? Wow. You know what I'm saying, man? We'd have been gone. You know what I mean? And not only that, but, you know what I mean? It was just stupid all over. How the story ended. The van didn't get back in time. Now, the van didn't get back in time. I parked it around one of my people's way one night. And when I went back to it a couple hours later, it was gone. You know what I'm saying? It was gone. So they retrieved the joint. You know what I'm saying? They retrieved it. I still went to work the next day. Like, you know what I mean? I had to go to McDonald's the next day. I go to McDonald's, and I'll never forget, I was wiping down the shake machine. The owner was in there too. A sheriff. I think the sheriff came in there. And all I know is the sheriff asked to speak to the owner. And, you know, I'm already paranoid because I know what I was just involved in, right? So, the sheriff talked to the owner. The owner, his eyes telling everything. The owner can't stop looking at me. So I'm like, oh my God, like, no. Like, at that point in my life, I had never even been locked up. I've been in trouble with police prior to then. Even had police take me home. You know what I'm saying? But like really being in cuffs prior to that event, it didn't happen. Anyway, he come over to me. You know what I'm saying? Because this prior to I changed my name. Because I legally changed my name to Ogun Lumumba. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my legal name, right? Prior to that was Darrell. So he come to me, he like, Darrell. He said, officer, just want to talk to you for a few minutes, you know? And I remember that I looked at the officer, and all I seen, he was reaching for his cuffs. You know what I'm saying? I saw that he was reaching for his cuffs. I was in the drive-through part. You got the drive-through that you give the customers their food, and you got the joint where you take their orders. Right. I ran to the back to where they first take orders at, because I was in the drive-thru that you give food at. That's where I was at, wiping down the shake machine or whatever, right? So I ran to the back, and while I was running to the back, I know it's a fat dude back there named Kyle, and I'm yelling like, Kyle, move out the way, like, because I need to get out that window, right? Kyle couldn't really make out what the hell I was saying. So I pushed Kyle, like 350 pounds plus, right? So I pushed Kyle, like, you got this McDonald's. I hops out the window onto somebody's car, right? Look, I hop out onto his car. As soon as I hop off of that, a Ford Taurus stopped in front of me. And they looked at me, and they just used the walkie-talkie. And I got to find out from some other people that they was the feds.
Wow.
The reason the feds was involved was because that daycare was federally owned.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
feds was involved into it as well. Yes. So anyway, by all this time, the sheriff gets back out. He gets outside. He's chasing me. I'm 15 years old in my prime. You're not catching me. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got one of them cops that they faithfully working out on the regular. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been chased many times by cops. You're not catching me. You know what I mean? Not back then anyway. Wasn't catching me. Back then, in the neighborhood that I lived in, it was undergoing a lot of development, so it was a lot of woody areas and stuff like that. So I was able to run. I ran into the woods. They seen me run into the woods, but they couldn't tell. Once you get into the woods, you can't tell what direction. So while I'm in the woods, you know what I mean, my mind is everywhere because there's one side of me, I can't believe what's going on. My mind is like, what the fuck did you just do? When are you going home? Is this just how we living from now? Like, what am I'm 15 years old. I don't even remember, like, I don't even think I really had no money on me. You know what I'm saying? So my mind is just like racing.
Wow.
We get inside, I said I'm inside of the woods, and it's probably like, while I'm walking, I know how to get to an open street to be able to cross another street. Because, man, I would have to really show you the visuals so you can really be able to see that shit for yourself. But anyway, go out there. I'm in the woods, and all I know is probably like, man, within 5 minutes, if that, I hear police officers talking on walkie-talkies, and I hear dogs. I can't see them, but I hear them. And the first thing I heard was that they said he got a red McDonald's shirt on and a hat. As soon as I heard him say that, I took my hat, I flew it one way, I took off my shirt, I threw it another direction, right? So, in both of the directions was not consistent with where I had to go. I knew what direction I had to hit into, but I knew I couldn't run too damn hard because I had twigs and shit, sticks and all that stuff under my legs. You can hear that crackling and stuff like that, right? So, I got up out of that.